What happens if the CEO and the product owner disagree on the product vision? This is a really tricky situation. And there's a few things we need to touch on as we go into this. But spoiler alert, there's no perfect answer. First, in terms of the product vision, well, the product vision is technically not part of Scrum, if we're going to be a little bit pedantic about it and rules nerdy. The product goal is, and the product owner should be accountable for the creation and clear communication of the product goal. However, a lot of product owners have been empowered and given the accountability of also creating the product vision within the larger bounds of the company's vision that they're trying to achieve. So how do you deal with that then? Well, in some ways you could say if the CEO hired you as product owner to create product goals and help them get closer to the product vision that they have created and that they have asked you to help them achieve, you might be out of luck. They made the vision, they've asked you to help them get to their vision, so you might not have much of a say, but it should always be collaborative. You should be working together. And this will come up again later on, but beware of the fool's choice. Focus on the facts, not opinions, and don't think that there's only two ways to do this, their way or your way. There might be a third way that neither of you didn't realize. So have a conversation. For the product goal, well, this is harder, right? Now, the rules of Scrum tell you that you should have final say. And not only that, there's a specific line in the Scrum Guide that says the organization must respect the decisions of the product owner for them to succeed. But it doesn't actually say what decisions, it just says decisions. Now, the implication, of course, is around the product backlog, and the product goal is part of the product backlog. But depending on how you read it, you could say, well, you get to decide what everyone else is having for lunch today, and they don't have a say. Again, not as intended. It's not actually what we mean. What we mean is when it comes to the ordering and decisions around the product backlog, the product owner is the final decision maker, where the buck stops. And this is because sometimes a quicker decision is better than a slow decision. Even though the quick decision was a bad one, a bad decision done quickly is better than a good decision done too late. And sometimes that's what the product owner has to do. Step in and just pick one. So where do we go from here? Well, from here, you're in a tricky situation. From here, ultimately, we should say that if the CEO is wrong, well, then we should go with the product owner. And if the product owner is wrong, well, then we should go with the CEO. But life is rarely that easy. And because we're working with complex work, we often don't actually know who is really right. And this is again where that fool's choice comes in, and where conversation and collaboration comes in mind, and listening to each other to understand, why does the other person feel that the other one is wrong? Where are you similar? Where are you different? What could we do to check, perhaps? And again, avoiding that fool's choice of it's either A or B, it's binary, it's 1 or 0. Chances are there's a million different ways of approaching rewriting the product goal if it needs to be rewritten at all. But whenever I train Scrum Masters or product owners, I have an iron rule. I say it's the first rule. And the first rule is don't get fired. Because if you're there, you want to help them achieve the vision, you want to help achieve the product goal, and you're invested in this, you want to see everyone succeed. If you get fired, you can't help. So if you're really there and you really want to help make these things work, sometimes you might have to let someone else make a decision, right? You might have to not roll over, right? But you might have to just compromise and concede and be like, you know what? Cool, let's try this one. And the cool thing is if it's not right, or we realize that actually that decision wasn't the best one, we can always change it in the future when we have more evidence. So rule number 1, don't get fired. Sometimes you might have to compromise, and the thing is, CEOs tend to be pretty reasonable people. There's a reason they got to where they did. It's because they can make good business decisions. Product owner should be like a mini CEO. You should be able to talk to each other accordingly about the focus on the value and the facts and how to get there. But sometimes, well, the CEO might be the one who's actually paying the salary and has the power to get you out of that accountability. So if you want to keep going, sometimes you might need to concede. But it should never be something you just do automatically. The conversation should happen first. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Oscar with Pragmatic Shift. You can find more of our stuff under @Pragmatic Shift on all social media. I would love to be your Scrum coach. And if you're interested in working with me, you can find my courses on pragmaticshift.com or about me as a coach under scrumcoach.uk. Please do like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out and gives us further reach to get to more professionals to help them on their journeys as well. Thank you again for watching.